Welcome to a little look at the ReMarkable e-ink writing tablet. I borrowed this from a colleague at work since I had an interest in getting it for myself. I've now played around with it for a few days and here are my first impressions on it. The menus and the UI on the tablet have a sparing design, but not much more is needed. The menu structure is okay and it's fairly easy to find what you need once you learn what the icons mean. But some icons are not clear and would have been better with text. For example, the windowed square when on a document. When pressed, it shows a list of all pages in that document, but that's not clear from the icon chosen. I also wish that there was a place to see the battery in percent instead of an unclear battery bar. I'm never really sure how much battery I have left or whether I will be running out in 5 minutes, or in 5 hours, or in 5 days. As for the battery time of the tablet, I have no real feel for that yet, though I did read a review that had found it to be a little more than 2 days. But that was on an early build and I don't really know if this is improved. On ReMarkable's website, all they say is that battery time will be improved with updates, but whether this has already happened or not, I am unsure. The feeling of the writing is good. It does resemble writing on paper as the screen is not smooth, but have a bit of a rough feel to it, so there is resistance while you're writing. The pen itself is the size of a standard pen or pencil, and thus fits very well into my hand. A big plus is that it does not require any power, so it doesn't have to be charged. But be aware though that the tips have to be changed from time to time as they wear out. The 10 tips that are supplied with the tablet should last you anywhere from 6 to 15 months according to the manufacturer, depending on the amount of use. A new set of 8 costs €12 or US. The tablet comes with various writing tools. This includes the pencil, where text looks like it was made with an unsharp pencil. It's not to my taste and I would probably just use one of the pens instead, but I can see the appeal for some people. There's the pen that has different width of the pen, different colors, black, gray and white, and different tip types. Works very well. There's also a fountain pen tool to give you that look if you so wish. There is a highlighter, which I at first thought was a thick pen, but it is just actually a highlighting tool, which can be useful, of course. Then there is the eraser, which works really well actually, though some ghosting artifacts often remain after erasing, though that seems to disappear after a while. The tablet also has a layers tool. I haven't used them much, but I can see the appeal of them and would probably also use them on occasion. One problem I have with them is that they can't be renamed, so just having layer 1 through 10 is not really that helpful. I would probably want to know sort of what's on each layer. It also has a move tool, so you can manipulate parts of your text or sketch. You can move it around, resize it or rotate it as you see fit. It seems to work very well on text on a white background, though it sometimes leaves traces of the moved selection on the screen. This is an artifact that goes away eventually, but it would be nice if it did not do that. It seems to have problems moving stuff on a dark background, and I have actually lost whole selections while moving. The tablet has various tools and connectivity options. I like that it can be set up for left-handed people as well as right-handed, which you can set up in the menus. It has a desktop app which works, but is very basic and is pretty much the only way of moving sheets or ebooks or whatever back and forth between a desktop computer and the tablet. I wish they had included connectivity directly to the cloud services like Google Drive and Dropbox, but these are currently not available. Though one nice thing is that it is actually possible to share sheets directly via email, either as PDF files or as PNG graphic files. There are a few other tools that seems to be only available in certain situations, where I could have wished that they would be available all the time. For example, there is a possibility to add extra pages easily with an icon, but this seems to only be possible when using quick sheets or notebooks. If I upload a background or a sheet or my own template in some way and want to add extra pages, I don't see any way of doing this because the icon is not available. Then I have to duplicate the background or sheet that I'm using and then have each page in a separate file. I would like to be able to just add extra pages to whatever document I'm on. Now it has quick sheets and notebooks, which are really handy for taking notes, obviously. But I wish I was able to move a single page out of it into its own file. I don't really see any easy way of doing this. Often I will have a notebook full of all sorts of notes on various things, and maybe one of them is something I want to save for later, and I don't really see a way of easily doing that. It would be a nice addition in a future update. The tablet is also an ebook reader. You can load any EPUB book into it and it's easy to read the text. The problem I have found is that ebooks seem to be made for a smaller page format, which means that you get some really weird page breaks on a larger screen. Though a nice feature is that you can write notes and highlight text in your ebook and then save it on the tablet, which is a very cool feature. The tablet comes with a good variety of everyday templates in both portrait and landscape format, so you should be covered in most cases. While I would have liked to have been able to load my own templates into the tablet, there are ways to include your own, though it is a bit finicky. Basically, you have to find a template PDF that you want to use. You have to load it into the tablet through the desktop program, make a folder for it, move it there, and then whenever you want to use it, you have to duplicate it and then move it to where you want it. Then you can open that PDF and start writing on it. The good thing I found is that erasing won't remove anything from the actual template, which will act as a background. So you don't really need to add any extra layers. It's not that hard, it's just a little bit more complicated than it really should be. I have a little bit of a problem with the pen tool. A little annoyance is that I here can select the tip I want, and on the icon at the top I can see which tip I've selected. But for thickness and color, I can't see this afterwards, which means that I am now writing in gray. Then if I switch the tip to something else, it will now write in black. Now if I'm then doing a lot of other stuff and then come back to the first tip I selected, it is now gray and thick, but I can't see that. So I might think that it's black, and then, oh, sorry, it's not black. I have to delete what I'm doing. Then go back up to the tool, switch, and switch. It would be nice that I at least can see if I'm writing in black, in gray, and with which thickness. Here's a short summary of the pros and cons as I see them. Pros. It feels good to write on. Most features are intuitive and easy to learn. It's a working ebook reader. There are many standard templates for everyday use. There is a possibility to use your own templates. There's a fairly intuitive UI, and there is support for left-handed people. Some of the cons are no real possibility to add user templates to the template section. No possibility to rename layers. Cut and move function doesn't always work properly. There is no connectivity to popular cloud services like Dropbox and Drive. I can't save single quick sheets separately. I can't see the thickness and color of the pen. I can't easily add extra pages to a normal document. And I think the price is a bit too high, which is currently 499 euros or US dollars. So that was my first impression of the tablet. Given the price of it, I'm still unsure on whether I will get my own, and it certainly could use a few software updates. But all in all, it's a very nice tablet to write on, and I do like the concept. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like and subscribe, and do check out a few of my other videos. Thanks for watching, and have a great evening.